Over to you.
All right, Roxy, thank you so much. Well, kids these days face many more challenges in their school than in years past. Well, we have child psychiatrist Dr. Daniel Bober here to tell us about the issues your child may be facing, how to spot them, and how you can help. Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Wonderful to have you here. So we were discussing a little bit before we came on here about some of the issues that I thought face children these days, and you actually told me that the #1 issue doesn't have to do with violence or cyberbullying or suicide, which was interesting to me.
Right. I'm seeing a lot of people coming into my office, you know, complaining that their kids might have ADHD. And in today's school environment, where it's become so competitive, a lot of people are seeking out medication for that disorder.
For those people at home that aren't familiar with that, why don't you explain what it is?
So ADHD is attention deficit disorder, and it usually comes in 2 varieties or flavors. There's the impulsive hyperactive type, and there's the inattentive type. So inattentive type would be like problems concentrating, forgetfulness, losing things, whereas the hyperactive type would be fidgeting, can't stay in your seat, not waiting your turn in line, that sort of thing.
Are those some of the signs that parents can look out for?
Absolutely.
So what are some of the ways to improve this?
Well, actually, it's one of the few mental health disorders that medication is really the most effective.
Okay.
I always try to make medication the last resort when it comes to children, because I think they should try to do it with therapy first. But attention deficit disorder responds the best to medication.
Okay, all right. So we were also talking about those other issues that I mentioned: violence in school, cyberbullying is a big one now, suicide among teenagers.
Yeah, cyberbullying is really something that has been an outgrowth of technology. Whereas traditional bullying was in the schoolyard, cyberbullying is something that, because of electronic media, it can go on for, 24 hours a day. Very often people don't have to come face to face with their aggressor, so they're more apt to do it. They're more disinhibited when they're by themselves. And also, a lot of people believe that it's anonymous, which of course we know it really isn't, but when you're sitting in your room alone and you have no supervision, you find it much easier to do than being face to face with someone on the schoolyard.
You're hiding behind the computer.
Exactly.
Now, Dr. Bober, tell me a little bit, because to me there's 2 sides of bullying. There's the person that's bullying. Actually, I should say 3 sides. There's the person that's being bullied, the one that's doing the bullying, and then the people that just stand around, see it happening, and don't do anything about it. What advice do you have for parents that may face that kind of situation?
Well, that's the interesting sort of contrast between bullying in the schoolyard and bullying on the computer. Because bullying in the schoolyard, there are people that are standing on the sidelines, but very often when you're on the computer, there is no supervision. So it's really important that the parents are focusing on what their kids are doing and knowing what websites they're on, the same way that parents should know who their children are hanging out with and know the parents of the children that they hang out with.
And if parents suspect that their child is being bullied or is the bullier, what can they do?
Well, certainly they can call the school and speak to the counselors. They can limit their internet time. They can look at the websites that their kids are visiting. The most common form of cyberbullying is instant messaging, and approximately 30% of school-age children who are on the internet have been bullied on the internet at some point.
All right, Dr. Bober, thank you so much for being here with us today. For more information or helpful tips to make sure you know what's going on in your child's mind, you can call Dr. Bober at 954-967-6776 or visit his website. It's drbober.com. We'll be right back after the break.